Hello, everybody. I'm Ehsan. I create art to inspire global peace. Today, I have another wonderful episode in my podcast, Ambassador for Peace podcast. I have a gentleman, a very dear special of mine. I've known this gentleman for over almost 20 years. I remember the beginning, probably 2003 to 2004. It was when I came across to him. I remember I was listening in a radio. I remember those days, and he is a very powerful and influencer, a spiritual coach, especially right here in the Persian community, right here in California. And I remember him radio, and I listened to his stuff, and I said, "This is an amazing guy. I want to connect with him." And furthermore, the gentleman, his name is Kamran Farhoomand. Kamran, welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Ehsan. How are you? And hi to everyone that is watching us.
Wonderful, wonderful. It is an incredible, I'm honored, I'm excited. I cannot express enough that you have actually been a witness of me and even my family. You have been a really wonderful influence, a role model, and you have made so much impact in the Persian community in California. And you have a unique voice. And what you teach is just incredible. And before I get deep into it, would you like to share a little bit about your own background, your story, and then I want it to come from your own self describing it.
Sure, Ehsan. Of course. Evelyn, first of all, I'm very appreciative of how what the energy as you're introducing me, not only your words, your kind words, but also your energy. So I appreciate it. And I'm glad I'm here. Uh, I would say that my parents were very emphasizing on my education. So I was in the system, learning, going forward, all the way, got my bachelor's degree in economics from Iran, came here for continuation, went to a second major for engineering, civil engineering in Louisiana, and then I came here, Cal State, and got my master's degree in civil engineering, in structural engineering. Right around then is when the revolution in Iran happened, and so basically everything that I had planned for the rest of my life was gone. Was basically especially when my dad said, "What do you want to come back to Iran? The country that you left doesn't exist anymore because all the values and the revolution, everything." So that has started my journey that brings us here today. Because I lost who I was. Thank God it was very painful, but thank God it was very valuable. Because for the first time, I started thinking for myself, who am I? What are we doing here? Where was I before I was born? Where am I going to go afterwards? I mean, these questions that basically we all dismiss it and think, nobody knows about it, so why should we put focus on it? Because I'd lost who I was searching for myself. Am I a writer? Am I an engineer? What am I? Who am I? And then I got beyond the career as to what am I doing here on this planet? That has started it, and up to now, as we continue, and as a matter of fact, I shared with you even about a year ago, I started opening up a complete new universe or world or perspective that I didn't have before. And so it's continuation of this journey has brought us to us and to your people. I'm glad to be here. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Kamran John. I remember those days when I was in my early 20s. You are a very a person that worked continuously in Persian, KIRN radio, 670 AM. I remember on a weekly basis, give or take on a regular basis, you were speaking, and you was having a very powerful, heartfelt message. You were talking about that you are the creator. Moving from victimization to creator, everything is already within you. You can create your life the way you want, and it was so empowering. I remember those days I was in a car just driving, and sometimes just tuning in the radio, and I was in such a despair, and I was hearing your voice, and I was saying, who is this guy? And that's where everything started for me. I don't know if I even told you yet, but that's how everything started for me. And then, long and behold, I remember my dad went to one of your seminars. By the way, you used to do seminars. self-development, self-discovery, self-creation seminars. And when my dad went, and I remember that whole journey started with myself going, and I've taken a lot of your seminars, and they are so powerful. And so transformational, and something incredible happens there. And I can emphasize enough that, you know, when those safe space happen, and you have a person like you that can coordinate it, and it can help people to move from a one dimension to another dimension that is more of a soul level, to recognize who you really are. It's been incredible. It's been transformational, and I'm honored to have you here. And your voice, your point of view, your view about how you look at the world, it's just shaking me. It's just shaking me in so many ways. And every time I talk to you, every time I take in these seminars, it actually helped me to grow. And those weekends helped me to grow about a decade. That's how powerful these seminars has been. And, you know, remember, it comes from LifeSpring and a little bit of Landmark Forum. And there's so many other different entities that has become a version of you that you teach that. But today, our podcast is about the topic of peace. And I love to hear your view. And I'm sure it's very interesting point of view, and I'd love to hear from you and what you believe. And I'm going to ask you some series of questions related to peace. And the first question that comes to my mind, I want to love to ask you, like, what does peace means to you personally?
Peace. Inside is no turbulence. All is well. Everything is calm. Everything is okay. That's peace to me. All is well. The experience of it, not the thought of it. It's, you know, my journey started with reading books because that's all I knew. I was a student all my life. And so I started reading books until after 300-400 books, I realized what I'm looking for is not in the books. It has to be an experience within you. That's a whole different story. It's a lot different that you look at a cigarette and it says it's hazardous for your health, versus, so you know it's not good for me, versus you actually are a non-smoker. You become a non-smoker. It's a whole different experience. And that's what you're so nice to mention about your expansions, because it's not so much of what I say, it's all over the place, thousands of books, which I've learned from anyway. It's more of what you experience, what's going on with your life. And if it is all is well, if it's, there's no mind conversation of what to do, where to go, what's my goal, what do I want, what do I get, what am I missing. Now, outside peace, of course, it's that the environment, the world, or whatever that I consider my environment, also is aligned with that. It's the same thing. I don't feel a threat coming from either something from my within or without. That's peace. That's when we show up and we have a chance to really live our lives. That's what I say about peace.
So my next question is, when we look at the humanity around ourselves, living in this time, space, and matter, and we are in this human form, why, in your view, there is no peace between us humans?
Well, as everybody knows, during the history, it's always been war, always. And it's going to continue. There's not going to be any peace unless there is a peace within. So we don't realize that our conflicts with outside has to something with the inner conflict, something inside of us we have conflict with. We project it automatically when we see it outside. 99% of the people see the same way, so we trust that reality. We think we have a problem with outside. And so we continue the fighting to be right about whatever it is that we believe in, and use whatever means to resolve the conflict in our benefit. And so that's why it never stops. It's like looking at the mirror and trying to fix your hair in the mirror, like working on the mirror trying to fix it. It's within you. It's coming from us. That's why war is going to continue until we have inner peace.
Okay, so inner peace is the solution. So why is there so many wars? Why is there so many conflict? The human history, as we know, since the beginning to our understanding till now, is been continuously happening. What is your view about it? Why are there so many wars and conflicts?
Well, I mean, it's very, very simple. As a matter of fact, I think everybody has their own opinion, and it's very similar to each other. It's there is difference of opinion. I want something, they have it, or I have something, they want it. We can't get into any kind of a resolution, so there's going to be war. Now, before it was immediate war. Now there is more diplomatic, but before there was swords and spears, now it's bombs. So same story, just different version, but same story. Something over there that we want, or somebody over there wants something that I got, there's going to be war. In a smaller scale is I want that lady, I want that husband, I want that job. So there's that sort of a war. In a bigger scale countries, as what we're seeing. And by the way, what an incredible time to be talking about peace and unity. Go ahead.
So is there, I think you kind of answered that, but I'm going to ask these questions in a different angle. So is there a way that we can have global peace? And is your answer only inner peace, that all the 8 billion of us have to have inner peace in order to get to global peace? Or is there any other thought you have about this?
What you're saying reminds me of the song Elton John, the name of Love. And he says something like, I know you say this is very hard to do, but this is the only way. You see, the war is teaching us something, that what we're doing is not working. And we need to shift, realize already all is well. Nothing outside of you can have an effect inside unless you let it. So this education, experiential education, is necessary to be at peace with yourself. Now, there is this hundreds monkey story that there are hundreds of monkeys in one island, and they've learned to wash their potatoes. And when the 100th monkey on that island washes the potatoes, meaning, let's say they're somewhat educated compared to the other island with monkeys without any communication, starts washing the potatoes. So it's not 8 billion people. It's people like you with an incredible, inspiring symbol that you've created that take a stand behind it. But it's more into, you can't solve it from here. Otherwise, all of these incredible minds would have solved it. It's something that has to happen from within. It's from inside. Your problem with you, my problem with me within, is really the cause of the war. I am responsible for the war. What I mean by responsible, ability to respond. How? Just like what happened with 9/11, just how you heard my voice. When 9/11 happened and they were killing people and terrorism and everything, and I was thinking, this is something, I got to do something. But it wasn't about reciprocating what it was more of a creative way of talking to people. And that's how you got to hear me and other people in Southern California, and then in DC, Washington, DC. So I had the seminars there, and I still do. But now it's from a whole different perspective. And You see, the reality, the truth, not reality, is all is well. Oh my God, what are you talking about? Israel is bombing Gaza, Gaza attacked in terrorism, Hamas attacked. What are you talking about? Yeah, well, all is well if you believe it. If you choose that perspective, if you accept what is, we're not accepting what is, we're resisting what is. There's going to be war, even within yourself. Even when you decide, I'm going to go study, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do that, and then the war starts. We're not aligned. That's how I see it. That's my experience. That's how, not 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 what I'm saying, but the experience of what I'm saying is what people have experienced and got to this truth that is within you already. And the more peace you have inside, the more peace you'll see. And one last thing about that is, I think it's Mother Teresa that said that I'm not going to come into any anti-war demonstration, but if you have a demonstration for peace, I'll be there. Focus on peace, just like you're creating, just like your project is creating, just like everybody who comes across it already automatically gets inspired. This unity we already have. Your symbol, your masterpiece, I believe, is resonating with that part. And I'm sure that there's going to be a way that people can feel a part of bringing peace to the planet by being a part of your project. That's like, yes, we vote for peace. Humanity vote for peace. Even the people who are in war, they're saying we're doing the war because we want peace. Everybody wants peace. But from different perspectives and the inner conflicts, there you go.
Well, I remember in your seminars, and I've gone several one in the last 2 decades, it is truly transformational. It is put you in a space that no matter where you come from, no matter whatever you have experienced, and once you start talking about it, and then you come to a point that all is well, all is just perfect. And I remember those, and when that shift happened to those individuals that we took this together, this journey together with you, as the coach, as a guide, and I remember that. It's fascinating. So what I'm hearing here, how we can get to global peace, the first thing is am I correct me if I'm wrong, is really coming to this authentic recognition that all is well, no matter
well,
what.
It takes one step before that. It's taking responsibility for your life. Everything that happens, you're responsible. Not it's your fault. That's the system thinking. You're responsible. You're able to respond. By the way, it's not the seminars really. It's life. In the seminars, we just take some of the blinders off. We get to, rather than dealing with everything in the distractions in life, we get to really be focused and be present where we are. And the moment that happens, what you said gets created. Being present. So we're not taking responsibility. Oh, there is a war. I don't like the war. What's happening there? Versus I'm standing for peace. And I'm starting, Michael Jackson said it to start with the man in the mirror. Again, not as a fault, not as a obligation, as an opportunity, ability to respond. When we take full responsibility, guess what? All is well. All is well. But you see, the reality shifts depending on your perspective. And all that happens in the seminars for the transformation is a different perspective. Seeing it's already there. Peace is already there. We don't have to create peace. It's already there. Look, they come and see your what do I call that? I mean, I don't want to just call it a masterpiece, but it truly is. And then as they're inspired. Why? Why? Why is it that peace and unity inspires every human being? It's already within us.
Within you. Hmm.
And as I said, it's small percentage, from what I understand, maybe even less than 1%, takes away the entire humanity to peace. And yes, and it's happening. The more war, the more people wake up to peace, of course, if they can actually use it to their advantage, to learn from the pain and the atrocities of war. Nobody wants more, but we always have had more. Take responsibility. Take a deep breath. Doesn't mean it's your fault. It means it's there for you to respond to it. Yes, just you. Respond to it in your way, and however you were inspired. That's how peace shows up. Individuals like yourself standing for peace. And inspired, everybody gets inspired. Look at just that painting behind your back. Everybody gets inspired. Why? Because it's part of humanity. Peace is a birthright. But we just started judging what is. Oh, this is bad. This is good. This is great. I love it. That's it. And we lost our way. Everything is happening for you. Everything. Go ahead.
Well, well, these are very fascinating, and they're so deep. It just made me get deeper to thinking. And what I'm also thinking, when one of my audience actually come across to what you say here. So I'm going to repeat that again. I would love you to kind of break down a little bit. It is so powerful.
Sure.
And so being responsible, able to respond, and peace is already within you. All is well, and everything is happening for you. Is really what I'm hearing at core is like really shifting consciousness, your own awareness of how you see the outlook of the world. That itself is contributing toward moving toward global peace. And I'm also hearing like when all of these contrasts is happening, it is happening for us. And the more war is coming up, the more we are wanting and desiring peace. So correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I'm hearing, a little bit of picnicking of all the.
Yes, because you see, this is a concept that we can get clear on and write it down and say this is what it is. It's something that is dynamic and it's alive and it's continuation of focusing, discovering, going forward for it. But bottom line is, out there is I'm sure your audience know that. It's like out there is a reflection of you. So
all connected.
Absolutely. And so that's what it's going to take. Now, some people are going to take advantage of the war to learn and to see that this is not the path. And unfortunately, majority of the people are going to be still back into the spiral, vicious circle of, oh, you killed mine, I'm going to kill yours, and continuously going. And we see that all over the place. And right now has become right into our face in Middle East.
Now, the things that you are introducing and applying and sharing, I think somebody that have walked in this path of self-development and growth and spirituality, I definitely can see they definitely are going to relate to that and appreciate that, and especially people that live around that they live in a harmonious, peaceful environment. But I'm going to ask a more of a challenging question here.
Sure.
Like, let's say a Palestinian right now watching this, and half of our family have been destroyed and bombed right now, and you come and introduce something like this. We're going to go toward global peace, and then what do you think? Is this a right prescription? Is this the right guidance and information to give him? This is how we're going to get to global peace. All is well. And is that all of my, everybody's dying, everybody dead, all is well? Okay. So I'm going to ask these kind of questions to make it more dynamic here.
All right. So you're taking this to a whole even deeper level. What you're saying makes sense based on an assumption of what death is bad and when we die is finished. And absolutely from that perspective, this is all tragedies. There are. But if you, I don't know what happened here. Hold on. If you take a look at a continuation that you always are, always are. I mean, you're asking a very tough question. I don't know if the people, as you said, that in that situation can even listen to me. But you always are and you always will be. So you could look at it from a different perspective. If you could notice that something beyond our comprehension is taking them to their next level. And that goes for me. And I know that this is scary when I say that. You know, I told you before when I had this this losing weight, and so it's like, okay, Kamran, you're saying all is well. So what if this is cancer and you're dying? Absolutely. Not, I'm not going to feel good about it, I'm sure, but it doesn't make any difference. Life doesn't stop. The death is not so bad because of the Hollywood, and I'm not saying death is good at all. But death is neither good nor bad, is there. And if you look at it as a continuation of your life, then you see that, hey, maybe as they say, the divine blessing is taking them out of their physical presence into a whole different place that sounds like, given whatever the situation is, couldn't be worse than this. 75 years, both sides. But what you're asking me and what I'm responding to you is going to create a lot of
controversy.
Yeah, a lot of no, even beyond that, a lot of hurt and feeling that, oh, what the hell is this guy talking about? You know, my own dad, 98 years old, was passing. All the stuff that I'm talking about, it goes out the window because in here, knowing it, it doesn't matter. It has to be here.
In the heart.
So my heart goes out for not only both sides, but the entire humanity. We live in heaven and we're trying to get to heaven. Infinite is creating perfection. Some people believe in science, some people believe in God. Either way gets to the same place. Infinite possibilities, infinite love, infinite wisdom is creating this. Call it nature, call it laws of nature, call it God. With infinite love for each and every one of us. How could it go wrong? Not to our 10% conscious self, the part of you that you're aware of course, you know, we're judging, this is good, this is bad, including the death. Oh my God, what an incredible tragedy. But I know there are cultures that celebrate death because of whatever hardship that they had when they were alive, that they would celebrate dying. So even death is a perspective and point of view. Now, it's extremely sensitive, especially with this situation in Middle East, and by the way, in Ukraine, in Russia. People are dying, yes, but somebody, something, or nothing beyond is running the show. We're not here by random. Take a look. Has ever I don't know, a apple tree given an orange? Nature or divine, whichever one you want to look at it. Nature meaning science, if you believe in science, or if you believe in God. Either one. Infinite power and wisdom is creating and running the show. This 10% is the one that judges and is separated from life, from nature. We're a part of nature. Even our feelings, our thoughts, our words are all part of it. With infinite love, and is trying to wake me, wake you, wake us up to, hey, all is well. Stop fighting, stop killing, stop dying. All is well. It's creating. And you know what? My mind, my 10% saying, come on, you didn't want to say these. This is too early for people. But I'm thinking right now that the people who are going to listen to you, the people that are standing for peace, the people that are inspired by your message, your vision, your path, they understand. They understand.
No, I love it when I talk to you. I think the more I talk to you and the perspective I hear being introduced on the table, even though whatever we're going through, however it looks like, I love the fact you come from a standpoint that there is no judgment. I think that's the lack of word I use, that everything is happening is just perfect. It is part of the divine. And it's hard for me, even that part of me, to comprehend that. But also there's such a liberation in it too, when you really also kind of surrender, and then just there's a peace involved with that. You're the big guy. There's something up there that is running the show, and from there I can really tune in how I can get inspired, what I should do, how I can contribute whenever I see all of this craziness, which I call it craziness. Who knows this is craziness or not? So that's the things when I keep hanging out with you and talk to you and go take the seminars, is just everything is a point of view. It's just like shaking me in such a deep level. Would you like to kind of emphasize a little bit? Let's just kind of, that's why I want to get that little bit out of you and just share more with the authentic you, because it's a very powerful point of view, and I think some liberation involved with this.
You see, I introduced the fact that you can instantly change your reality. Because your reality, what you believe in, this is real, is just your perspective. Not that it's not real, your perspective and what your reality is real for you. For an example, people go see a movie. They come out, the same movie. Some people love it. Some people got bored. Some people didn't care about it. Some people kind of like it. What happened? It was the same movie. How come the realities is different? Are different? The fastest way to change your reality is to change your point of view. It's called transformation or breakthrough, because it's not easy to change your point of view. And yes, from every point of view that you look at, what you're seeing is correct, is your reality. But the purpose of our perspectives, our judgments, our opinions is for what? Why are we using those? To win, to get to where we want. So why not shift and change your perspective? Because all is well is a place within your consciousness that you have to go achieve it. You can just say, oh, okay, these people are killing each other and I don't have this happening and whatever else is going wrong and all is well. It's not like a positive thinking. It's really a place in your consciousness that when you get there, the truth becomes all is well. And it puts you at the optimum place for peace, at optimum place for do something about people dying and people suffering and people suffering. So you got a chance. It's up to you. From one angle, this is absolutely, let's get it, but because you went right into a very hard example. Go into your perspective with your friend, your perspective with your wife, your perspective with somebody else, and it changes. And if it's aligned, they kind of be together, and kind of we all know we're all one. And then I'm talking about your audience. We know we are all one and we're acting completely separately. We're not using what we know. Just like Earth and Sun. We know Sun is stationary, Earth is rotating. What do we experience though? Oh, Sun is coming up, Sun is going down. So change your reality by changing your perspective. Changing your perspective means discover other places within you. Remember before you fall in love? And when you fell in love, it was, wow, my God, it's brand new. I didn't know it would exist. They talked about it. I heard it in the songs or seen it in the movies. But now that I'm experiencing, that was always in your consciousness and you somehow access it. Now get to that all is well, divine. By the way, and I don't want to make it about God, about some big thing up there, because that big thing, if it's there is nowhere that it's not. So it's also in here, wherever it is. And also, I want to make sure that if you believe in science, fantastic. Then what is science? Is nature, predicting nature such that we know how nature is going to act and we can predict it. That's science. So that means nature knows what it's doing. We just maybe have a small part of the entire body of science that we have realized. Like before, we thought thunder and lightning is, oh, gods are angry. Now we have science and we know this level of negative electrical charge happens, and then the thunder and lightning and so on and so forth. What do you think? How you feel? It's part of the nature. What you think is part of the nature. You are part of the nature, but you forget. You think I am versus the nature. There is the war already. Me versus life. Me versus universe. Me versus the world. There you go. And given the survival mode, our body dies. So already we're at war with life. Be it I don't want to die, or be it until I die, I want to have a better life or have peace. Meanwhile, maybe we're missing the real value of life. It's all happening for you. Infinite power and wisdom and love is creating it for you. Be it nature, be it God, whatever you believe in, based on your beliefs. You look in there, and I promise you, you will find all is well within you. Maybe it takes a week, maybe it takes a month, maybe you have to crack open some books, maybe you have to go to some seminars, maybe whatever. But it will happen, and once it's happened, you've arrived. Now you're going to lose it again, but once you arrive a couple of times and you visit, little by little, you will live there. And when you are in pain, what is our feeling towards pain? Eek, don't want it. You get to embrace it.
When you operate from that foundation. Gotcha.
Listen, we're living in a life that there's so many suffering and pain within our own lives and others. Now, some much more severe, like what's happening in Middle East. But we're all going through it, and there is a place in you that you could see either nature with infinite love, or divine, God, whatever you want to call it, the source of everything or nothing. Either one is running the show with infinite love for you and for all humanity, not only all creation. We know, I mean, I'm sure the guys that are listening to me, they know that the universe is based on love. All religions are talking about love, but in the name of love, of course, they get to see who is right. So that's playing to lose. And so there are wars. And now you have a choice. Now, at least it's the start of a journey. I'm not saying I gave you any answers, but you haven't started the journey. What really, there is a place inside of me. We call it, if you know, we call it the treasure within. You know that. Yes, there is that place within you. And it's your responsibility to find it. And it's there. And here's Ehsan, here's me, here's thousands of people that tell you that they've gone there within 48 hours in seminars. But I'm not talking about seminars. I'm talking about life. Life itself, it brings to you, if you believe it. And how do you believe it? Anytime that it's not into your liking, remember, is this happening against me? What is your belief? Or is this happening for me? Even if your mind, your 10% says, no, this is, meaning the 10% that you're conscious of yourself. 90% of yourself, you're unconscious of. So the 10% is running the show. Of course, some of it is going to be good, some of it is going to be bad, and there's going to be war there. And some peace. But that 1,000 years of peace that is supposed to come in, and all religions are promising it, it's not going to happen without us taking responsibility and realizing you are so important that you're here. And yes, the best way to respond to what's happening, the ability to respond, is to first respond into what's going on with you that you consider as negative. What is worse than pain? Pain we consider as negative. We're experiencing the negativity of pain. You resist it, the pain goes up. You surrender to it, the pain goes through. Or doesn't. Regardless, the pain is going to do what it's going to do. You have only two choices: resist it or let it be. Appreciate it. Embrace it. The pain is there, but your resistance takes it much more suffering. Your acceptance, and that doesn't mean surrender, give up. Acceptance means this is what is. Why you accept it? Because it is. Now what? Doesn't mean that, oh, we accept it. Okay, we sit down here, whatever happens. Because usually, immediately, people's thoughts goes, no. You accept it as it is. You drop your judgments, all the opinions about this is bad. You know why? Because you're reminded that, you know what? Infinite knowledge and power and love is creating this. Otherwise, it would not happen. Be it nature, be it God. Then you sit down with your judgments and opinions and you succumb to, okay, so this must be here. Now that I accept that it is here, what are my judgments that I can't accept this? And then when the time comes, when you surrender your judgments, your opinions, you realize, oh, it's my perspective, then you can embrace it. You embrace your pain, it shifts your reality. Resist your pain, continues to, what you resist persists.
Now,
you got me talking, Ehsan.
I love it. I love it. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. You definitely make people thinking, and the way that you teach and coach is just fascinating, and I love it in so many levels. Now, my last question to you, Kamran, is: do you personally, authentically, do you think that humanity will one day experience everlasting global peace?
Absolutely. There's no question about that. The only question that I may have at this point, at this time, because of what my perspective is it going to happen in my lifetime? Is it going to happen by me, meaning as a part of it? Those are the only questions.
Wow.
Not if it's going to happen. Absolutely. We're destined for that. You see, the game is fixed. We're going to win this game. It's just that, are we going to be in there? I think so too. Yes. Yes. All right. That's honestly. And by the way, it doesn't mean that I don't have pain. Doesn't mean that I'm happy with everything. I'm not. But I accept, I embrace, and I let. Is it nature? Is it divine? Is it? And by the way, this is not new things. And just for a second before we go, I just want to apologize if what I'm saying, because what I'm talking to Ehsan, we've been 20 years, 22 years, 21 years. Yeah, and he's gone through perspectives, and the questions he asked me is not something that I would bring to the public. But if you can accept my apology and just examine what I said with your own mind, and then if you have any questions, give comment to Ehsan, and I'm sure you'll see that within your own mind you believe either to the science or to God, and if you do, you believe in it's infinite. I've gone over and over and over with this, and this is, by the way, brand new. I didn't know that like this. I wasn't applying it like this. How do we apply this? How do we apply personal responsibility? Whatever comes up for you that you don't like it, accept it, surrender your judgments, embrace it, and that puts you in optimum to what you want to do about something that you don't like, versus reactive and resistive. And now it's simple, but it's hard. But with practice, remember you couldn't walk? Remember you couldn't even stand up? How many times you fell on your butt? But here you are now running, climbing trees and mountains. Yeah, you get there. All is well. Your experience is not a accurate determination of what is. Take a look in the world. All is well doesn't mean I don't have any pain. It's a state of consciousness. It's not even here. I don't know where to point to consciousness. It's not in your brain. All is well is in your consciousness. Once you're there, then the experience will also testify to that. Don't let your experience of hardship, I don't like it, and resistance stop you from getting there, from all is well. Don't let your opinions, your judgments stop you, because all there is your opinions and judgment. Somebody calls you, give you a great news, you haven't seen anything yet, but immediately your emotions changes. Somebody calls you and gives you bad news and they says, hey, it was April Fool's Day. Immediately with that news, you feel bad without anything happening in your environment, nothing, only here, and feelings completely change immediately.
Mm.
You see a red light, the cops behind your back, you immediately have a reaction. And when it goes by you and it was for somebody else, you have a different. All of it is happening within. So yes, all is well is there. Accept it, embrace it, go for it. Start your journey. Start your journey. That's, I think, why I'm here.
Well, I'm going to double question right here. The way that you said absolutely there's going to be everlasting peace with such a conviction. Why? Why do you think there's going to be peace?
That's a very good question. First, let me answer it this way. There are no reasons for you to get to everlasting peace. You got to somehow, I don't know, get it, know it, feel it. I don't even know what the word for it is. But as I'm speaking to you, there is absolutely zero doubt in my mind that we're going to have the everlasting. So what are your reasons? It's just like when you fall in love with somebody, so why do you love me, or why do you love her or him? And then you look for the reasons. But as I said, we're made of peace. We're made of love. All of this is stuff that we think is us. We already know that it's, let's say, superstitious. And the highest superstitious that we have in the world is about our own self, our own limitations, our own inabilities. How can we have everlasting peace? What else? We're made of peace. We're made of love. What else is there for us? This is our destiny. Look, I'm your father. That's the Star Wars. I'm sorry. That just jumped out of me. I apologize.
Well, thank you so much.
It is your destiny, my friend. It is our destiny. It is our destiny. And by the way, take a look at you. You're one of the reasons. Where the hell did you come from? Standing for peace and 17 story, the largest painting in the history of where, and is about peace and unity. And as you said, I've been through the inception of it all the way to now, and all the transformations, not only with your peace but with you. And so, of course, with where did we come from? We come from a place that we're standing for peace because we feel something here. We know we deserve it, and even if you don't feel peace, that doesn't mean that there is no peace. That means we don't have access to it, because here there's nothing but love and peace. Unity, by the way, is another. Oneness is another way of peace. When you know that, who am I going to do war with when it's really me? At a different level. I have an example and I let that go. Imagine a tree with thousands of, hundreds of branches and thousands of leaves. And we're here looking, the leaf is there, having the consciousness of the leaf. It's like, oh, that leaf is bigger than me. That leaf is greater than me. That branch has bigger, and then all of us in one branch, viva us, and death to the other branch. All of us one tree. All of us in one tree. So stop fighting with yourself. Thank you, Ehsan. It's all inner fight. I know it because I'm going through it. Go ahead.
This was fantastic, Kamran Farhoomand, ladies and gentlemen, and I love every time I talk to you. There's always some insight, some deeper level I get from you, and I was more than excited to share you and have your voice, have your presence here in my podcast, Ambassador for Peace, ladies and gentlemen. And if people want to reach you out, I know you are a very powerful life coach, a spiritual coach. If there's any way they can reach you out, do you have any link or anything that you want to introduce right now? And if anybody else?
I wasn't thinking of that, but you have my email. Put it in your comment if somebody wants. And
thank you so much. And
God bless you.
Today's the end of the podcast. And thank you so much, Kamran.